Hey, what's up? Welcome to another broadcast of TC the G Radio. I'm your host, your girl, TC the G, broadcasting directly from Tijuana, Baja California. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to have a great time. The topic of conversation for this broadcast is community. So let's dive right into the conversation. So, community. When I think of community, I think of both good and bad things, honestly. And of course, life is both good and bad, and every concept usually has a good side and a bad side. But at the same time, we do need to weigh them out and see what is beneficial to life, what is beneficial to humans, and what is not beneficial, and try to cut that out. That's the only way we can do some honest discernment and get some solutions for the problems that we have in society. So, one of the things, the bad things that I think about when I think about community is our lack of support within our communities. For example, these human and sex trafficking things that happen in our everyday life. Well, hopefully not, in our everyday, but it happens to people. It's something that happens in the world. And it's a very, very, it's a sad thing, but it's a real thing. And it's painful, and it causes us to lose trust in our community. And we can't even look at our neighbor without having some kind of suspicion, because we don't have that trust. We don't have somewhere where we can go. And of course, not even our government is honest, right? So it's very hard to even try to get that out of people. We need to have the government, first of all, they need to put that example. Of course, we're all responsible for our life, right? And we don't depend on the government. All I'm saying is, we depend on them, to some extent. But what I'm saying is, we don't depend on them in a way that they're God. Like, it's up to them, At the end of the day, we can all get together and try to change policies in the government, right? So we have that ability. But when it comes to have some kind of community where we can feel safe and we can speak about these issues and we can feel like they're actually going to be taken care of, because sometimes when people even go to like the police or things like that, sometimes they don't even want to believe, or your family members don't want to believe, or you were like molested or sexually assaulted, or they don't want you to make a big deal, or et cetera, et cetera. And maybe these things come from our past, from all the things that happened in our country, slaughtering and enslavement and all these horrible things that are painful to human life and just life overall. And what I have seen or heard some people like this Hollywood people, right? They get away with it. And I remember one of the guys, I think it was that, what was his name? Jeffrey Epstein. He said that there were the girls who were 15 years old in his case. He said that they were prostitutes, that they kind of like their thing is that the girls are doing it. It's their fault. But at the end of the day, they're still kids. At the end of the day, we are the adults. So it's up to the adults to tell the kids it's not right. If a 15-year-old girl came up to a man, the man should not go along with what she's saying. He should tell her to go home. And she'll probably go tell her parents so they can, punish her, because that's not right. Maybe these kids are coming from some kind of place as well, wrong homes. But if you're an adult and you see these kind of kids, the best thing to do is to go report it, not to go and go along with it. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's up to us, the adults, to guide the kids. They don't know any better. That's why they're kids. They know some things, right? But that's why they have the adults, because we're here to guide them, not to take advantage of them and their ignorance. That's what these people are doing. They're taking advantage of their innocence, and they're molding them. and getting them to do the things that they want, for their own benefit, like this Jeffrey guy. They get them all groomed up and doing the things that they want them to do, illegal things, prostitution. And, of course, some of these people do fall prey to these predators, like these girls, because maybe they do come from those homes that are not good, not good, that mistreats them. But again, you as an adult, your option should not be to pimp them. Your option should be to go report it, to do something about it, to protect them. That's something that we should all do for each other in our community, to take care of our kids. That's the pillar of our community, to be able to have people around us that we can trust, And I know I said about the government, but what I was saying is that they don't even put that example. So a lot of people are not even really worried about that. They already have the notion that everybody is bad. Even the government does it, right? But again, it's up to us, because the change is not going to come from the government. We tried it so many times. And if it does come, it comes really slow. And still to this day, there's a lot of racism, a lot of things that have not been done, like reparations for African Americans, Native Americans, my ancestors. They still, of course, we got in reparations in lands and things like that, but the majority of our land is still under a government that wasn't the native government, right? It's the European. And like I said before, it's not just a European thing. There was war, and we were taking over each other's land here in this part of the earth too. In this land, we were doing that already. But the thing is that we weren't claiming it to be like we found it, or use some kind of weapon to take over the land, lies and things like that. It was honest war, if I can say like that. It was honest war. It wasn't something sneaky, something upper-handed. It wasn't something that was preconceived, and conspired. That's a conspiracy. And that's where things become shady. And that's why I'm not saying that, lose all hope in the government. Hopefully, we can get it someplace good. But at this point, it really is up to the people to get together and take care of each other. That's really what it comes down to. And the thing about human and sex trafficking as well is that it's very tied into the music industry, because I've done research online, and I've seen how a lot of these music industry people, they do some weird stuff, drink blood, eat humans. There's even like a website that's online that you can see, and it's a cannibal restaurant in LA. They were actually serving cannibal food, which is humans. Where are they getting these humans from? And it was Katy Perry. It was other people that I saw on that website. They're people from the street that they're kidnapping. They pay whoever gang members to go out on the streets and kidnap people, kidnap kids, and then bring them to them so they can eat them, whatever, do rituals with them, abuse them in the worst ways, take their innocence, which is how horrible can you be of a person to be doing that? Those people are sick, like completely sick in the mind. They need to be not in the streets. That's for sure, not in the streets. Need to be in jail or something because they're doing crimes against humanity. And again, the music industry is very tied to that. You can see all their videos, everything's satanic, everything has fire. And again, we all have the internet to our disposition. It's not very hard to just look and do some research. If you research, I guarantee you're gonna find it. And if you need it, I'm gonna put it on the link too, on my description or whatever. I'm gonna look for it. I know I have it somewhere, and I'm gonna put the description of that. The URL for that website with cannibals. I even had my homies look at it. They saw it. It's on the internet. It's on kind of like an FBI kind of website. I'm going to put it on here, though. Um, Another thing about community, I think a lot of it with girls, we're always like, a lot of girls, I mean, it has to do with the media, right? And the images that they portray and the things that, what we should look like. And girls are constantly comparing each other to the next girl. And that's already not community. That's already a battle. You know, we should think of each other as brothers and sisters. That's the only way we can really get along with each other. You know, when we start seeing each other as family, because at this point, everybody's trying to reach the top, climbing the ladder, me against, you know, you, everybody's against each other, who looks better, who has more money. Like, that's the reason why we're destroying this world, because we don't have connection. We don't have community within ourselves. We're missing that. And we think, I don't know if people think it's part of human nature but all the images that we're getting constantly sent to us through the media, all these plastic surgeries, all that stuff is not natural. It's not normal. It's not natural. These are made up ideas of what people think women should look like. Women look like the way they should look. Everybody has a different body. Not in the way they function, but in the way it looks. But if you work out and you eat healthy, your body will reach its maximum, its best state. And you will feel good. Because it's your best body. Not homegirl's best body, that girl's best body, Kim Kardashian. No. It's not even their body. Even if they say, I bought it, it's still not your body. It doesn't make any sense. I bought it. Yeah, you bought it. Exactly. That's the point. You bought it. It's not you. It's plastic. You have plastic in your body. And you know, and hanging out with all those strippers and stuff like that as well, I just think, or glamorizing stripping and you know, tricking guys and getting them to buy you stuff. All that stuff is the worst message you can give to girls. Stripping is not a job, like I said it in my last episode. Stripping is not a job. That's prostitution. Being a stripper is worse than being a wife. They like to say, I'm independent. And if they want to call wives bad, being a stripper it's worse than that. Because wives only need one man. Only one to take care of them. Strippers need like 20, 50 a day, a week. They need a gang of guys to take care of them. All those guys around them, stinky guys, ugly ass guys, they're giving their time to these guys so they can get money. And they just don't need one. They need a lot. Besides the fact that they don't have health insurance, that they're putting themselves in the line to get robbed, to get killed, to get raped. That's not a very good business move. Unless all you're thinking about is money. And like I said, those girls usually, they like that life. They like the fast life. They're criminals themselves in a way. And I'm tired of hearing or how it looks so glamorized and how girls, you know, are being exposed to that. It's not right. It's not right. They see it like some kind of feminism. It really is not no feminism. It's actually worse. Oh, you're a wife. You know, a wife gets things done with just one guy. That seems more smart to me than the other way around. Strippers need a gang of guys. And again, you know, I'm not saying this to shoot them down or anything. I mean, we all make mistakes at the end of the day. We all have our life to live and our things that we need to figure out in life, you know? And really, mistakes don't make us phony. What makes us phony is saying we're going to change or that we're trying to get better and not doing it. Right? I mean, if you want to be a fucked up individual, go for it, but be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? Go for it. But don't pretend like you're a good person and I'm going to change and then you're not really doing it. That's what makes you phony. That's what makes you two-faced and just trying to control things to your advantage. You know? Any mistake that anybody makes, an honest mistake, that's fine. We're all human. Making mistakes doesn't make us phony. It just seems like some people are so stuck in, I don't know if it's being perfect, that you can't make mistakes, or they just feel so overwhelmed with coming to terms that they also make mistakes, or they just want to seem so perfect. I don't know. I really don't know. There's so many scenarios, right? But the bottom line is that we always need to be honest with our truths, our mistakes, everything. You know, and it's fine. It's fine if we all make mistakes, but we need to understand that our actions, whatever actions we make, they don't just affect us. They affect everybody around us. Everyone. And if you want to build a good community, we need to keep that in mind, because that's like the thing that was going to keep us in place, in a way, in place to act accordingly to the community that we want. We can't have a trusting community in doing things that are not trustworthy. It doesn't make any sense. It's just 1 + 1 is 2. And, you know, another thing that I have noticed as well is another thing that makes women, me personally, you know, feel a little uncomfortable, is how guys are just overall all the time just sexualizing women in the street, right? Oh, what's up? Maybe here in Mexico, I don't know. I think in the States as well a little bit, you know. But, you know, if a man is going to give you a compliment as a woman, it should always be not a physical compliment, because if it's physical, then most likely it's just lust, what they're looking after, you know. And if you're trying to look for something serious, that's not where to go. Lust is not love. Lust is lust. And usually when you notice someone that you really are into, you're going to notice something else besides their physicality. Of course, guys look at physicality. I understand that. But at the end of the day, that's not what makes anybody stay, right? It's the deeper thing. So it's just something to like really think about, you know, when we as women even go out and try to date. And men should have that respect for women, you know, to treat them like ladies with respect. And women should have the same respect for guys as well, you know, treat them like gentlemen. We all need to act with respect amongst each other. That way we can really be a community. Without respect, nothing is going to get done. Nothing that's really going to make a change. The kind of change that we need. Because that's what we're lacking. We're lacking respect for life. And without this respect, we cannot build a community. Because community is built on trust and respect and love. It's all connected. And another thing I think about as well is how some people use their horoscope signs to act like fucked up, right? Oh, it's because I'm this. It's because I'm a Leo. It's because I'm a Scorpio. No, look, I don't even like to hear that. Personality is malleable. You can work on yourself. Everything that is wrong with us, we can work on it. Not that it's like so wrong, but some things that we do may not be pleasing, may not be so nice. So, you know, it's a matter of us coming to terms. That's something that we need to work on. Oh, I'm just negative because I'm this. You can be negative the same way that you can be positive. It's just a matter of what you want for your life. Besides the fact as well that we build our own destiny. No horoscope can tell you your future. Only you can tell that. And I'm this. Personality is malleable. The brain is elastic. You can change your personality. It's that simple. Of course, some things are scientifically proven, and a lot of people might attest that they feel the same way. And yes, you know, it's true. It's true to some extent, but at the same time, there's people that don't feel like those signs at all. So if it was true fact, true theory, it will be true all the time. And it's not. Some people don't feel like they're signs. And plus the fact that the skies have changed. The skies are not the same from when the horoscopes started. The skies have moved. Everything is different. It's up to us to make our future and our destiny. And the person that we are today, it's up to us. It's up to us. Of course, we have DNA and triggers and things like that. Of course. Of course we do. We all do. We're all human. But it's a matter of making the choice to be a better person. And another thing that I think about as well when I think of community is about how these, like, oh, this life matters and that life matters. And like, all lives matter. That's just causing more separation. And this is all of doing of the government as well. They have fixated so much in our race and our whatever heritage just to keep us divided, right? That's one of the tactics they use, divide to conquer, right? And it still works. If you see everything, everybody, that's still happening. This life matters, that life matters. No, you don't care about us. No, you do. No, we, like, it just keeps us, it keeps us distracted from the true things that are happening behind scenes, from the true things that matter, that we need to actually give our time and effort to, like changing these policies and having a good precedent, those kind of things. And I think even the president said something about the U.S. president, like, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Like, what does that even mean? Like, that's, what kind of president is that? That fool just sounds like he just went to third grade and that's it with those kind of comments. Honestly. And another thing about that too, like, recently I actually put it on Facebook, like, when people call me the N-word. Like, why? I'm not black. And the person calling me the N-word is not black either. It's usually a Mexican. And that thing kind of trips me out. Like, you're Mexican. Why are you saying the N-word? Oh, we all started. Homie, like, don't even start. Like, when you go to jail, you cannot say the N-word because you Mexican. So what? Now because you're outside, now you can say the N-word? Because nobody's checking them, probably that's why. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we're not black. I'm not black. Mexicans are not black. There's some dark Mexicans. Yeah, for sure. There's some black Mexicans, most definitely, especially down south. And a lot of the black people actually escaped to Mexico when the whole slavery thing was happening. I have nothing against black people. But me personally, I'm not black. So why are you calling me black? Why are you calling me the N-word? I can't go and call African Americans Mexicans. I can't call them that because they're not that. I'm not the N-word either. It doesn't make any sense. It just looks kind of dumb. Like, hey, N-word. Like, I'm not black. You know, leave that up to them. That's their culture. That's their thing, you know? That's their struggle that they went through. We had our own struggle, my boy. Why don't you talk about some native words? Some fucking native fucking words, mexica words. Of course, they also say, oh, it's because we all came from black. Yeah, of course, but we're not anymore. When you vote, when you go to school, do you put black or do you put Mexican? Right? You put Mexican or whatever they want to classify it as, Hispanic, whatever they lie about. Because it's not even supposed to be Mexican. We're native and European. Right? Just politics. They put their different nationalities because of the borders they have created. Because the world has no borders. These are only man-made things that keep us separated from each other. Just for power, for wealth, for money, to have control of the world. You can't control the world. That's idiotic. And whoever has that idea, it's an idiot, honestly. Mother Earth, it's way stronger than any human. Destroys in a second. And they talk about improving the earth, advancing the earth, developing the earth. The earth is perfect, my boy. It needs nothing. It's perfect the way it is. Of course, some things are good inventions, right? Of course, I'm not denying that. There's some good inventions. But don't act like the earth needs it, because it doesn't. We want it. We need it. Humans want it. That's a different story. It's not that the earth needs it, it's that we want it. Right? That's the difference. And even that, going back to the N-word thing, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Even like that one fool, YG. He had that song, Maria, Maria, Maria. What if I have a song that says, Shaniqua, Shaniqua, Shaniqua? They wouldn't like that. They'd be out in the streets, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. But you can say Maria, Maria, Maria. That's the most racist shit I've heard. And Mexicans are not paying attention because they want to go with the hype. Right? Or whatever. We need to be true to who we are. We need to be true and know our history. And think about what we're saying. We can't just be talking like that. Especially old ass guys, like people that even went to jail. Like, you went to jail, you should know better. And I'm the type of person that I didn't grow up being proud of being Mexican. I didn't grow up because my mom never instilled that in us. They were so worried about money and the American dream. And when you're in the States, being Mexican, it's not the shit. It's not the shit. Right? Because you're a beaner, you're a wetback. I remember even in high school, my close friends, they knew I was Mexican, but we started saying this little joke that I was Puerto Rican because somebody said, "Hey, you look Puerto Rican." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I am." And at that time, reggaeton was on and like all this shit was on and like it was popping, So I was like, "Oh yeah." I went with it. I kept the lie going. Because of the same reason. I didn't have that pride in me of being Mexican, of knowing my roots. And that's the thing that the government does. They strip us from our culture, from our roots. And that we lose our balance. Now a different culture is being instilled instead of our natural culture. Now we have the rap culture taking over what your culture should be, or whatever culture they're showing, they're portraying to us in the TV. That's the culture they want us to follow. But I bet you, if we had our natural roots from our native people, we would think so much different. But all this, colonization, and this is all a product of that. It's all a product of that. It really is, and they have really mind fucked us, honestly. That's really what it is. And we just do whatever the TV says, we do whatever the artists say, we do whatever, Even if they're saying some dumb shit, we're gonna go and do it. Molly, like, Molly is not good for kids. Molly is not good for people. And also that saying, smoke weed every day. What do you think that did to us? That also programmed us to smoke weed every day. It's all programming. And we need to choose, especially now that we're grown up, we need to choose what program we're going to continue on. Which one are we going to continue on? Because it's really important. It's really important to understand what these things and how important these things actually are. And, if cancel culture has any kind of validity, we should cancel anything that does not support humanity. We should be canceling those things. Cardi B, all that shit that's not good for kids. I mean, put it on some kind of adult site or some kind of adult channel or something, because it's not for kids. And guess who's watching the majority of that? Kids. Kids are. We need to be down for our kids and for what's best for them. Down for our kids, down for our family, down for our community, down for our nation. If we're not down for them, nobody else is going to be down. We all need to be taking care of each other. Every single one of us. Every single one of us. And I even had like some friend reach out to me like, "Oh, is Mexico that bad? Like they make it seem?" That's also what I think about when I think of community. My nation, where I'm at right now, because my nation is the world. It's everyone's nation. But you know what? I said, honestly, it's all propaganda. If anything, the U.S., for example, they have had killings in school, killed kids. That has not happened in Mexico. No. So the propaganda that other places are like scary, U.S. is safe, that's all propaganda. The U.S. is the worst place. That's where it all comes from. That's where all the bad stuff stems from. They just distribute it to other countries so they can do their dirty work. But the conspiracy comes from the States, from the United States. And, I'm not saying this as a mean way or whatever. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Of course, it's clean, it's a good nation, got good things. But at the same time, a lot of things are hidden and under the radar, which doesn't seem like it's a good thing. It's just... And of course, I'm not saying everybody in the government is bad or whatever. Of course, there's some good people trying to make some honest change. Of course. But the majority of things, if anything, the U.S. just gives us the worst parts. We do the dirty work and we get the dirty consequences. But at the same time, like my homegirl was asking, like, it's not that bad. Really, it's not. The cartel is not going to F with you if you don't fuck with them. Unless you're somewhere down south, because over there I've heard that they take over houses. I've never seen it, but a couple people have told me. So, but at the same time, they just tell them to leave. And again, these are all people that are hired by the states. So, the fact that they want to continue and make it seem like it's their country, it just seems idiotic, It's not. All the countries in the world, every single country in the world follows the U.S. Everybody wants to be like the U.S. They all follow it. Everything the U.S. does, everybody does it afterwards. The skin bleaching. All that stuff. All the stuff that's killing our society. Painful things. And again, it's up to us to take care of us. And, I'm not saying all of this stuff just to be pessimistic. It's actually optimistic to be critiquing things because it just means that we have hope for change. We have hope for things to get better. That's why I speak up, because I have hope. If I didn't have hope, I wouldn't just speak. I would just be like, oh, that's life. That's what happens. No. I believe in humanity. I believe on the good. I believe in the good. I believe that, at the end of the day, we're here because of love. We're here because we're here to create something together. And we're not creating it together at this point. We're doing everything separate. Everybody's doing things separate. And again, it's dividing and they're conquering. And, I just speak because I have hope that we can do better, that things will be better. That's the reason why. Not because I want to break people down or whatever, or society, or want to blame or antagonize. No, that's not the reason. I'm just saying all of this stuff because we need to do better. We need to be better. We can be better. Of course we can. We just need to make the decision. We need to make that decision. And I'm online a lot of the times as well, just talking truth about things, pedophilia, things like that. So I do comment on there. And some people think that's trolling or whatever, but to me that's not trolling. Trolling is lying and just bullying people. I'm on there to stand up for truth. It's not just for hate per se, It's not trolling like in a negative way. It's in a way that I'm critiquing so things can get better. start a dialogue, right? That's what it's all about, the comment section, right? To start the dialogue. But, those who are, projecting themselves or whatever, they take it personal and start thinking that I'm being negative or whatever, trolling. There's nothing wrong with trolling if you're doing it for a good cause. If you're trying to stand up for something good. And it's actually a good exercise to stand up for things, if you're trying to build your own self-courage and your own self-esteem and your values, it's good to sometimes, even as therapeutic, to go out and speak up a little bit about it, about your thoughts and your views. It gives you a little bit more strength of what your views are. You're speaking about it. You're speaking your truth. And of course, you shouldn't go on there and just start talking shit and being mean. That's not the point, right? The point is doing some good critiquing, some good feedback, so we can get better. That's the only reason why. And going back to how, I didn't really have like the pride instilled in me of, to be a Mexican or whatever. I think that same pride is not being instilled in kids about being a man or being a woman. We have all these gay people. I have nothing against gay people singing about being straight. It makes no sense. Are they singers or are they actors? Because, I guess they can be both, right? Sometimes actors get singing classes. Like, for example, Bad Bunny. He's saying that he likes women. He does not like women. Come on. He's got his nails painted. We all know the truth. So why is he acting like he likes women? He's just confusing kids by doing that. Kids are going to think that's what a man's supposed to look like. That's what he's supposed to act like. No. That's confusing kids, like, completely. That's horrible. Women too, That's horrible. You're not supposed to just, that's, a kid's mind is already so tender as it is. And you're throwing these concepts at them that are so hard to understand, especially when you're that young. You're still trying to figure yourself out. Now you have this idea of being like this, being gay, being trans. Like, let the kid be a kid. He doesn't need to think about sex. Gay, trans, that's sex. Kids don't need to worry about sex. That's what they're kids for. The only reason why you want to turn a woman is for sex. Because it's a sex thing, right? All that stuff, it's a sex thing. So why are we involving kids with that? That doesn't make any sense. Kids need to be having a man role model, a woman role model, what they should act like, what they should be like, because kids emanate whatever they see, they're going to try to imitate it. That's our nature as humans. We should not do that to kids. I know a lot of that does happen, though, like Beyonce, too, singing songs, but it's not really her lyrics. She's not really an artist. She's just interpreting someone else's song. Like DMX said, I wouldn't be able to consider myself an artist if I didn't write my own stuff. So if they don't write their own stuff, what are they? They're just interpreters. They're just actors, right? Like I said, even some actors get singing classes. And our kids cannot be exposed to lies like that. Those are lies. Like Bad Bunny, I'm straight. He's not straight because kids at home, they take everything seriously. They're learning. We cannot be doing that to kids. We need to take care of each other and give the right guidance and the right image for them to rely on, to make them strong. If we don't make our kids strong, our community is never going to be strong. We do need to take care of each other. So, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. And today's actually the last broadcast. I wasn't able to make one last week because I was having some voice issues. So I tried to record it, but it wasn't sounding good. It just wasn't. My voice was like completely out. But, I decided to just combine last week and today together in this episode, and we're going to make it work like this. I was gonna make another one next week, but it seems like I pretty much hit all the rest of my points that I had for next week's show. So I'm just gonna shoot it through today. And thank you to every one of you guys for tuning in. This is actually the 12th week I've been doing this show. And, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to TC the G Radio. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast and this season number 1. So, what are your thoughts on this topic of conversation? Community. I want to know. Comment, like, share. Also connect with me on social media to get more of me and my musical content. I will leave all of my social media and contact info in the video's description. Again, thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and for allowing me to share this time with you. Take care. Saludos.